So this is the fourth Sarum Lights here at the Cathedral, and over the years we've played out different subjects. So this particular art installation is about a period in art history from the Baroque through to Impressionism, which is often a period we don't really reflect on 100%. And you might say, why in a cathedral? But if we think about this building, it's been around for 1,000 years. It's seen all of this history played out. And actually in cultural history, especially in European cultural history, we see such a significant change through in that period, which we play out in some of the artworks, and that the actual installations and the masterpieces that we include in there actually show us some of that change through history.
So the whole of this exhibition is about the 17th through to the 19th centuries and about the developing ideas which birthed the modern world. I think perhaps the most challenging section is in the Trinity Chapel at the East End, where there's stuff around slavery, but also around emancipation, American Civil War, French Revolution, so some really big conflicts of ideas and people, which we're the legacy of today.
There are three sort of big artistic movements, plus some sub-artistic movements. So we have the Baroque, which came after the Renaissance. We had the Rococo period, and then we have Impressionism. They're the three big periods, and in between we have things like the Pre-Raphaelites. So as we go through, it was really important to tell this narrative of really the dictatorial and sort of powerful art of the mercantile class of the Renaissance, which we've done previously, going through to Impressionism. And I'm a working class boy, and Impressionism was when suddenly artists like myself had the ability to paint and to be able to express themselves. So it starts to see that change towards the culture that we know now in the arts. And by going from the Baroque through to Impressionism, we can see that sort of constrained style move through to that beauty which Impressionism brought about. And we also hear that in the music as well. So telling that story, especially as people are walking through, rather than just telling the story of one of those periods, actually allows that journey, and it allows you to follow that through to that real beauty and that sort of emancipation of art which came about with Impressionism.
I mean, if you think about the issues about some of the big political conflicts that are going on around the world at the minute, if you think about some of the issues of economic freedom and independence, if you think about some of the things which are in the news around the Corona Review and about different ideas about what is it to be free or to be part of a collective, these are all big ideas which keep coming up in different forms.
We never try and be prescriptive of what any artwork should be. So whatever you pick up on that, whatever the audience picks up is fantastic, and there will always be sub-context and sub-layers. We've actually looked at the Baroque, and actually there's quite a lot of beauty that comes out of it. So there's a lot of form and shape that came out of the Baroque. And musically, there's some musical changes that our composer David starts to play into there. And actually, by the time you get to the Impressionist period, you completely see the difference of the beautiful simplicity of the piano, for instance, and then that gentle sort of symphonic movements you start to get in French music. So we're actually looking for the beauty in there, but also there's that moment of change in the East End that you go to where we see sort of consequence and emancipation. So we see the section about slavery, for instance, and then we also see the section about industrial revolution, where we see the train coming down the tunnel and we see the cogs and we see all of that. So we almost have this sort of social movement between the two big art periods that you walk through. So some people will say this is less moving and less beautiful, but actually if we see some of those images outside, they are beautiful and quite profound in their own right. So it's what somebody wants to draw between the art movements, rather than just being prescriptive and saying, look, this one movement or this one movement has a particular emotion.
I think events like this are important for us in terms of people. We want to be getting out that message there that the cathedral is open, that it is for you, that it is your cathedral, whether people live in Salisbury, in the counties of Wiltshire and Dorset we serve within the Diocese of Salisbury, or if they're coming from further afield as a visitor. And events like this we know attract a wide range of people and ages that might not otherwise connect with the cathedral. So it's a time to be open. It's also a time to break open some of those big ideas, and we know that the different academic disciplines and subjects which developed in the period which this show is about, 17th, 18th, 19th century, they came out of medieval theology into their own life, and of course that's part of the wider Christian story. And as a church, the way in which these ideas bounced off theology, developed from theology, but also then challenged and shaped the church are really important. So that's why we are doing it here in a place of worship.